Hello there. We are live. So we are excited to be here. I am Kitty Shambliss, and I am here with our awesome mindset coach, B. And we have an interesting topic for you today for our Loving Without Boundaries community. So just want to start out by saying if you are new to our community, welcome. We are glad that you are here in our community, which is all about building healthy relationships and living your most authentic life in a way that works for you with a sex positive and non-judgmental lens. So with that, I love to I'm really going to let B here lead the charge on today's topic, which is really, really important. And I'll be here to offer support with that topic, but I'd like to give the microphone over to you, B.
Thank you, Kitty, and hello, beautiful people. It's really exciting to be back here with you in our bi-weekly Facebook Live. So yes, Kitty mentioned today's topic is actually really important. Like all topics that we bring here, we really want to help and support you living your best and most authentic lives. So today we're going to talk about mindset and the role mindset can play in our life experience and in our relationship success. It actually appears to be a common struggle in our line of work to really witness that people are sadly struggling in their relationship, maintaining health and happiness due to not noticing the negative mindset that we might be in our relationships, or maybe we are lacking the awareness that actually mindset can play an absolutely crucial role in relationship success of any kind. Let it be friendships or work relationships, and of course, mindset can play a really important role in navigating the complexities of consensual non-monogamous relationships. So just briefly, I would like to give a definition of mindset. How we can define mindset is it is a set of attitudes and beliefs. We can consider it as a lens through we see the world, how we perceive challenges and opportunities, and also it shapes our thinking, emotions and behaviors and choices, and how we perceive ourselves, other people, and our circumstances. We can group mindset into two categories. One is the fixed mindset, and the other is the growth-oriented mindset. The fixed mindset is something that has this underlying belief that personality traits and our abilities are fixed, that we can't change them. This is just how we are wired or how we are raised. And some of the ways that it can show up is that there's the fear of failure, there's avoidance of challenges, the lack of effort given to change our circumstances because we don't believe that we can change actually our life experience and what surrounds us. So this is actually a place of contradiction where we enter into disempowering emotional states, for example, sadness, anxiety, resentment, or even depression. On the other hand, a growth-oriented mindset is a place where there's this expansion happening and empowering states are happening. This is a solution-oriented mindset where we see failures as opportunities for growth. We are open to new experiences and challenges and embrace the waves of life and change. And actually, since change is unavoidable part of life, cultivating a growth mindset can be incredibly important in shaping our life experience. We would like to touch on today on a few consequences and manifestations. What happens when we lack an empowering mindset? And one of the areas where this can show up in consensual non-monogamy is when we have certain emotional challenges. There may appear to be that sense that life is happening to us, that we are helpless to change anything about our relationship dynamic. This can show up as a resistance to adapt to changes as well. Again, as I mentioned, this is a place of contraction. We may end up in emotional and thinking and behaving states where we project what's inside us, this helplessness inside, we project it on other people, and how we approach others is through blame and criticism. And that, of course, is gonna erode the foundation of the relationship if we are not willing to see, or we are not having the ability to see that at maximum we're contributing to a relationship dynamic 50%, and we're not taking responsibility for that 50%, then growth stops and relationship evolvement stops altogether. What else can happen? And this is a really sad place to be. And again, it's a state where we really shrink in life, and we keep comparing ourselves to other people, like constantly. We are on edge and just on the lookout of how we are less than other people. Of course, if we keep doing this, then this can lead to feelings of insecurity and inadequacy in ourselves. So we may just really contribute to keeping certain limiting beliefs alive. For example, I'm not enough, I'm not worthy, my needs don't matter. And sometimes we may not even notice that we are contributing to our own disempowering emotional states. How we might show up in relationship is that we may hold grudges or resentments throughout an extended period of time, and it may be decades as well. So when this happens, again, we may find it really challenging to keep the happiness alive and the relationship health alive, because we come from anger, and again, we project our own misfortune and our feelings outside and not taking action. So we're really missing out on stepping into a solution-oriented mindset. When we are in contraction, we can find it really difficult to provide empathetic support to our partners. We may miss out on responding to their emotional needs in a timely manner. And this can also contribute to struggling with compersion, like feeling that empathetic joy for our partner's happiness with someone else. We may also live in this constant state of fear of being abandoned, and that can result in emotional withdrawal and not showing up in our relationships with vulnerability. So really being closed off, withdrawn, and often we just don't engage with our partners. So this can really create a disconnect in the relationship, contribute to feelings of resentment and eroding trust over time.
Mm-hmm. I can take this if you want. Or you want me to take this? So I'd love to springboard off of this really beautiful and important topic, B, that you brought up. So thank you for sharing it so vulnerably and eloquently with our community here. So just like B was saying, when we do have disempowering sets of beliefs and attitudes and mindset, that can also show up by creating trust issues, which can also lead to communication issues. What does that look like when we're talking about multiple relationships in consensual non-monogamy? Because remember, when we add more people, we add more complexity and areas that we may need to grow into or find new skill sets to manage. So when we are in disempowering states, that can show up as us having a possessive attitude towards our partners, or also we might have like an overbearing constant need for reassurance that may feel exhausting to the other person. We can also be showing up with controlling behavior, where we're creating rules. The way we talk about rules here at Loving Without Boundaries is rules are when we are attempting to control somebody else's behavior, versus when we're creating agreements, which both people are willingly and joyfully agreeing to, that are based on your needs. And that can also show up as having those not being able to fully trust your partner, maybe being suspicious, making up scary stories in your head about what might not actually be true, maybe making assumptions or worst case scenarios where you're creating like scary stories about the future and creating your own anxiety and distrust. And assumptions you can think of when we're assuming maybe things that happened in the past, we're not going to grow or change, or that other person is not going to grow or change. And those things are just going to keep happening over and over again. Thus, we're not allowing room for that person to grow into their best version of themselves, what we call their superhero. It can also show up as a lack of transparency or honesty, which, of course, when we're talking about consensual non-monogamy, that can be an issue, especially if there is past cheating behavior in the past infidelity, which you can heal and grow from if you make a conscious choice to do so. But so there can be work that needs to happen both with your communication, but also your belief system to understand how to speak openly and honestly and how to show up transparently, giving the other person maybe not only information that they need to know, but maybe information that helps them to feel safe and secure, meeting that need for certainty and safety and security. And without that, there can be confusion, there can be misunderstandings that can be happening over and over again, wreaking havoc and chaos and damage and sabotaging your most cherished relationships, which breaks our heart. And it doesn't have to be that way, which is exactly why we're glad you're here in this supportive community. And the other thing that can come up with trust and communication issues is a difficulty in learning how to set healthy boundaries. A lot of people don't realize that they have poor boundaries. What do we mean by poor boundaries? That's when we're taking on too much responsibility for other people's feelings or behavior, or we're not defending our own boundaries, or we're not clear on what our own boundaries are, and we're allowing people to keep stepping over and violating our boundaries and our values, and we're not speaking up for ourselves. Those are two examples of having poor boundaries. And also, people may not understand that establishing healthy agreements that are based on each person's needs in a balanced way, and where everyone's joyfully and willingly agreeing to those agreements, is the bedrock and a foundation for a healthy relationship. And without that, it can just feel like chaos, and you're stepping on each other's toes and causing unnecessary harm and suffering in your relationships. But when you have those healthy trust that you can rebuild even with infidelity, and you have healthy communication skills, which we teach a lot of the people that we help every single day, from there you can springboard and learn how to make healthy compromises. So I'll stop there and give the mic back over to you, B, if you'd like to just walk that out a little bit more.
Yes, absolutely. I would like to stack on what you shared, and again, just really highlighting the importance of an empowering mindset. We can have access to the best strategies in the world when it comes to relationships or communication or how to set boundaries properly. We can have the step-by-step guide, but if our mindset is not aligned, if it's not coming from an empowering state, our thinking, feelings, and behavior, we won't execute. We just keep prolonging suffering and pain over time, because everything just going to be an unused tool. So getting our mindset really aligned is absolutely crucial. And if we don't have this, that can show up in the relationship dynamic as well. So a fixed mindset or a negative mindset can lead to rigidity in the relationship. There's this stagnation. We may have that assumption, and you mentioned assumption as well. That assumption can show up in a different way as well. Like we assume that, yes, personalities are unchangeable. Traits are unchangeable. So with this, we just don't put enough effort into changing our circumstances because we have this limiting belief, and simply don't bring up issues in time. But just resentment keeps building up because we may step into that disempowering state that why bother? Nothing can be changed. I better just suffer. And this is really just one example of how a lack of empowering mindset in relationship dynamics can show up. It's also a common phenomenon to take things personally, which can come from all sorts of experiences that we unconsciously absorbed from childhood, that other people's actions are personal. And this can have debilitating effect in our relationships when we interpret our partner's behavior or attractions to other people as personal, as meaning something about our own worth. We can also end up in a place where I mentioned blame and criticism earlier, when we don't have the ability to give constructive feedback to other people, but we really show up with judgments and criticizing others. And we also have the issue of receiving constructive feedback and reaching out for help, because there's this interpretation in ourselves going on that this is a sign of weakness, or it's a sign of our incompetence, and we again may end up with withdrawing from growth. There's one thing that actually keeps showing up like frequently, either in comments or what we see working with our clients as well, that sometimes there's this assumption that open relationships are a zero sum game. So in order for someone, if someone gains and experience a new partner, then that means that I am definitely going to lose out. So we may see our partners' opportunities in other relationships as something that threatens us. So we really live in this place of reactivity and fear and rivalry as well. So we can really resent what is happening instead of seeing what unfolds in the relationship as an opportunity for growth, and our partner's experience with someone else as something that can contribute and enrich our relationships. So this is what we call a scarcity mindset, when we don't see that there's actually love, there's abundance of love, and that there can be immense opportunities when we have time alone. For example, we can create opportunities for growth. We can step into healing and self-empowerment. So there can be lots of challenges in consensual non-monogamy, and really, if we learn to see the opportunities, if we step into a growth mindset, that then we might be able to see that actually this is a beautiful relationship scene for stepping into growth and evolvement, individual evolvement and relationship evolvement as well.
Mm-hmm. So beautiful. I think you just did such a great job with this topic, B. I just want to thank you. And of course, we don't want it to sound all like doom and gloom. We just want to help people understand that there is hope. There is ways to get guidance and to get tools and the strategies that you need to be in healthy relationship dynamics, even when you're coloring outside of the lines of heteronormative monogamy. And we know that's why a lot of you are here in our Loving Without Boundaries community. So with that, I'm going to put a link up on the screen. So if you are looking to develop empowering mindsets, if you are looking to be in healthy relationship dynamics, you want to learn how to create healthy boundaries, rebuild trust possibly from the past, help is here. And it can start with just having a free conversation with myself. And you can do that by simply going to that link that's on the screen, lovingwithoutboundaries.com/apply. And there you can learn how to understand your emotions and develop empathy to understand your partner's emotions as well, and learn how to approach your differences and your conflicts with empathy, with collaboration, knowing that you can condition those communication techniques. You can learn how to build your emotional intelligence, just like a muscle in the gym. It takes conditioning and momentum and accountability sometimes to develop new habits and strategies to create new patterns that are empowering and release old beliefs and patterns that have not been helping you. And with that, you can foster an empowering mindset of exploration, of curiosity, to bounce back from challenges with grace, with resilience, with strength. And you can start to realize that life is happening for you. You are the creator of your life. You are the creator of your relationships. You are also even the creator of your reality and your perception of it. And you have a positive influence that you can have in your daily life, in your emotional well-being, and the health of your relationships. So you can develop a growth mindset by embracing change, by learning how to lovingly question some of your beliefs that may or may not be serving you, and then consciously choose what does serve you. And then you can actively seek personal development that enriches your relationships, including the relationship with yourself, as well as the relationships with your most cherished loved ones, whether that's your partners, whether that is your children, whether that is your friends, your family. You can learn how to have these skills ripple out into all of those relationships. And it can start with one call. That's what B did when she first reached out to me over 2.5 years ago, was go to this link, lovingwithoutboundaries.com/apply. That will take you into my calendar. Just simply find a time slot that works for you. There'll be a brief form for you to fill out that just sets us up for success and gives me a little context for a conversation. And then simply jump on that call and we'll just have an honest, authentic conversation to find out what's alive for you. What are you struggling with? Can I help you? And are you ready and willing to take that help? And we'll talk about a game plan, putting our heads together to see what that would look like, and just have, like I said, a transparent, honest, authentic conversation to see if myself and our wonderful, amazing team, which includes B here, can guide you on that journey of self-discovery, of self-empowerment, of growth. So would that be anything you wanted to add there?
Yes, absolutely. I love, Kiri, that you mentioned the words exploration and curiosity. My face really lit up and I felt it in my body, because I know that those can be such fulfilling places to be when we learn into these two states. And I again want to repeat that even though sometimes it can feel challenging or impossible, it's absolutely achievable to exit a fixed mindset and step into this growth mindset that supports understanding with our partners, effective communication and compassion. And also, Kiri, you mentioned the relationship with ourselves, which is so incredibly important. So we can absolutely up-level that experience as well, how we experience ourselves in our lives. We can step into growth, evolvement, fun, joy, self-confidence, and really just keep expanding and expanding our comfort zones even more. And once we fill up our own cup, it's gonna contribute to more and more happiness and joy in our relationships as well.
Mm-hmm. So beautiful, B. So just know that we love having you here in our community. What sets our Loving Without Boundaries community apart is we have leaders here, and you have a whole team supporting you. B and I are both highly trained expert coaches. And I particularly have a master coach certification, which only 1,075 coaches in the entire world have from the International Certified Coaching Federation. So that's amazing. So you've got help here. You've got guidance. You have people who are rooting for your success, who have been in the trenches with literally decades of experience. So know that you are not alone. Know that we've got you. And if you are looking for more expert help, again, go to that link, lovingwithoutboundaries.com/apply, and we can have a conversation. Of course, you also have the resources like the blog on the website and the podcast, and of course, this community. So with that, we'll sign off for now and just say we are glad that you are here. For those who are in America, happy July 4th. Be safe tomorrow for your holiday, and we will talk to you soon. And thank you, B, for your time and your effort and your energy. Bye-bye.